Hey everybody, welcome. It's Erin here with Passionworks Yoga, and Noah is at Passionworks right
Hello.
now.
Hello.
And yeah, we're gonna do a little yoga practice this morning, um, focused on water. So we'll be flowing a little bit and just kind of thinking about embodying the qualities of water. So you might even just, while you're sitting here, starting the class, thinking about the qualities of water. What comes to mind when you think of water? And to start, you can sit in a chair or you can sit on the floor. It's up to you. Today's class will be um, everything can be done from a chair. So if you want to set up in a chair and settle in, that would be great. Or there'll be an option to come down onto your mat and come onto the back about halfway through. So if you want that option, you might roll out a mat. So yeah, just up to you. I'm going to actually, I'm going to sit on the floor just because I feel like being closer to the ground, but at any time you can decide to move to a chair or move to the ground. So yeah, we'll start seated, and I'm sitting in a cross-legged seat. Another option would be to kneel, and I like to bring a block under my sitting bones if I'm kneeling, just to kind of add a little extra height and support so I'm not stressing out my knees. So yeah, just finding a place that you like to sit in. If you're sitting in a chair, you might bring your feet flat on the ground and just think about your knees pointing forward. And wherever you are, start to feel your spine grow out of your pelvis. So just starting to lengthen your back. Let your shoulders soften away from the ears. Let your hands rest easy in your lap. You might close your eyes or just find a soft gaze out in front of you just to relax the face. A lot of times we go about our days kind of scrunched up and focused, thinking a lot. So kind of encouraging a softening of the face to soften the mind. Notice how your breathing is, any qualities of your breath. The pace of your breath. And it's the morning for Noah and sometimes the breath changes throughout the day at different times in the day. Sometimes in the morning, it's a little easier to slow down the breath. Sometimes in the evening, when there's been a lot going on throughout the day, it's a little more challenging to slow down. So give yourself some patience here as you slowly lengthen your breath. You might welcome some of those water-like qualities to your breathing. Without too much effort, you probably will notice a wave-like quality to your breath, just as it is. You might start to make those transitions between your inhale and exhale a little smoother, more fluid. I'll invite you to even close your mouth and breathe in and out of the nose to make that kind of ocean wave sound of your breath. This is known as ujjayi breath. Slow going inhale and slow going exhale. Let your jaw unhinge. Let the inside of your mouth soften. As we sit for just a few more moments, you may even bring to mind a place near water that you love, a place that's beautiful in nature, stream, a river, waterfall, maybe the ocean. Take another slow breath in and a full breath out. And gently let your chin drop down towards the chest and maybe your eyes open here if they were closed. Just start to rock your head gently side to side. So feeling into the sides of the neck, rolling your head from side to side. It might even feel nice to match your breath with your movement here. Your exhale brings your head down. And inhale brings your ear towards your shoulder. If you come across a place that feels tight or sticky, you can hang out there for a little bit longer if you'd like and take a couple breaths in one spot. And in the next couple of breaths, gently come back through the center. So the head drops down, the chin reaches towards your sternum. And start to round your back here. So feeling this kind of hollowing out of the belly, almost like a beach ball. We're moving towards the belly and you're rounding over it. Cat pose, seated. And then inhale to lift your chest and look up. Lift your sternum, cow pose. And exhale, rounding your back. So I've got my hands on my legs here for a little bit of a kind of pivot point. Moving through those two shapes a couple more times, waking up the spine. And really you can take those poses to the depth of your choosing. So it doesn't need to be a really big movement unless that feels good to you. It can be really small, maybe not even moving, more of an internal movement. So know that that's possible for any of these shapes that we're making. Even if you're not moving on the outside, but it looks like you're moving, you may be feeling it on the inside. And that's what this is all about. Let's take one more round. Move with your breath. And we'll come back to a neutral place. So sitting up tall, back in the center. Breathe in and breathe out. The flow of the breath carries us in practice. Let's stretch the arms up here. And as you exhale, lean to one side, bring your hand next to you, lean over. And gently come up through the center. Inhale. Exhale, lean to the other side. And inhale, come back up. Keep on flowing side to side here, moving with your breath. You may feel this kind of hugging in of the sides of your abdomen to encourage that lift back up through the center. So using the strength of your core to come back up. If you are sitting in a chair, I would recommend holding on to the side of the chair as you lean over. Leaning, lengthening. And you might skip that pause in the middle this next couple of rounds, just flowing side to side, a little dynamic movement. Inhaling to one side and exhaling to the other. All right, so the next time you're leaned over to one side, go ahead and hang out there for a couple of breaths. So if you want to take your hand and place it behind your head and lean your head back into your hand, it might feel nice. So the hand that's on the ground stays there, and then the hand that's lifted is the one that's, yep, just like that. Just feeling that opening through the side of the body, kind of leaning into it. And maybe even close the elbow down towards the ground for a moment, and then curl back open. Big breath in. And then gently come back up through the center. And we'll switch sides. Bringing the hand down for support to the chair or the ground. The other hand comes to the back of the head and lean back. And what that does is it helps to open up across the chest, the heart space. And then maybe you close that off for a moment just to feel that opposite action. And then a big breath in to open back up. Inhale. And come back through the center, gently making your way there. Nice. Let's bring the hands to the tops of the legs. We're back in the center here, just finding your center. Breathing in. And breathing out. We'll start to circle the spine here. So rib cage to one side. Lean forward and breathe in. Rib cage to the other side. We're making a full circle here. And all the way back, kind of rounding your back as you lean back. Let's do that a few more times. So again, the hands on the legs can be really helpful for kind of grounding in the center. And really there's no really right or wrong way of moving here. This is just a means of waking up the spine, feeling that movement of your spine in a way that feels good to you. And let's circle in the other direction a couple of times. So water is associated with the second chakra, the sacral chakra, which is often associated with feelings and emotions. And it makes sense that these things are kind of constantly changing, just like water. It's constant ebb and flow of feelings, emotions, feeling into that even in the physical body, ever-changing sensation. Let's come back through the center. Just making your way back to center, breathing in and breathing out. All right, so this is the part of the practice that you could come, well, actually, let's do one more thing here. Let's wake up the shoulders a little bit. So, yeah, you can do some shrugging just to start. Just kind of feeling the shoulders move, the shoulder blades move. Really, this practice is about kind of finding what feels good for you. So I will offer bringing the hands onto your shoulders and taking some circles with your elbows. So these circles can be any range of motion. And yeah, doing one at a time would be fine, just, or maybe alternating sides, a little bit of swimming action of the shoulders. And breathing the whole time. Moving your shoulders in the other direction, so those circles. Really any range of motion here. Breathing in. Breathing out. You might feel this in the spine even as you're moving the shoulders. Maybe. Nice. And let your shoulders gently drop down the back, and we'll do one more little shoulder opener here. So crossing one arm across your chest. Now reaching over, your arm does not need to be straight. You can take your other hand and gently bring the arm in closer towards your chest. Just holding on with your hands, hugging it in. I know it's kind of hard to see on the video, but just feeling that gentle hug in. You got it, Noah. Taking a couple breaths here. And continuing to sit up tall. Feel your sitting bones on the ground, on your prop, on your chair, wherever you are. Another breath in. And gently release your arm. And switch sides. So other arm comes across the chest. Use your other hand to just hug in any amount. You could also use your arm, so you could hook your arm and hug it in that way. Just feeling that stretch across the shoulder, the back of the arm a bit. And breathe in. And breathe out. Release your arms. Let it go. Come back to center. Sit up tall. Inhale. The wave of the exhale comes out. Let it go. Nice. Okay. So this is where, if you want to come down onto your back, you can. If you're sitting in a chair and want to stay there, that's great. Making that transition if you are. And we'll start by hugging one knee in towards the chest, lifting the foot off of the ground. Maybe using the hands to help to kind of squeeze it in, holding the front of the shin or the back of the leg. Take a big breath in. And as you exhale, bring the foot down to the ground again. And hug the other leg in. Breathe in. And exhale, bring the foot back down. And just alternate sides a couple times here. So it's hugging in as you inhale. Exhale, bringing the foot down. Inhale, other knee in. And exhale down. Continue to breathe. Finding a little flow side to side. And feeling into the hips a little more. We spent a lot of time waking up the spine. If you are lying on the ground, you might feel that support of the ground under you. Support of the earth under your back. Supporting your spine. Let's do one more of these on each side. You might not be moving as quickly as I am, or maybe you're moving much faster than me, and that's fine. Find your own pace. I'll walk the feet a little bit wider. The feet are a bit wider than the knees. And just windshield wiper the knees side to side. A little bit of freeing up of the hips. And I like to think about this as kind of like a little massage for the hips and the low back. All right, we come back through the center and walk your feet back about hip width distance apart. And we'll hug the right knee in again. option to extend your left leg, especially if you're lying down, reaching through the heel here. A couple more options here as we squeeze the knee in. You may start to bring your knee a little bit wider out to the side, almost like a lizard lunge. If you're seated in a chair, you may just start to draw the knee wide. So it just creates that outer rotation of the hip. It opens in a different way. Breathing in and breathing out. If you are in a chair, notice your spine here, letting your back support you, sitting up tall. We'll gently move the leg back through the center. Take another breath in. And then release your foot. So sole of the foot can come down or extend your right leg down. And we'll hug the left knee in. Starting with a couple breaths here, squeezing the knee in. Maybe the right leg extends. And you can just find the place that feels good to you here. So maybe you pull the knee out. Maybe you just do a little bit of rocking of the knee side to side, just knowing that's totally fine. Just finding that outer rotation of the hip. Breathing in and breathing out. We gently make our way back through the center and bring the soles of the feet back onto the ground. Pausing here in the center, you may take a moment to walk your feet wide again and do that little windshield wiper side to side. That may feel nice. I always really enjoy that. And then coming back, feet about hip width distance apart. From here, we'll cross the right ankle over the left thigh for our figure 4. This can be done from seated in the chair or laying on your back. And really, this is about that outer hip rotation, and it'll probably feel a pretty good stretch in the hips, the glute. So feel free to move a little bit here, maybe rocking a little side to side. And if you'd like, you could even thread your hands behind the left leg and hug your legs in towards the chest. That is optional. So finding what feels good. Breathing in and out. Whenever you're ready, slowly unravel. Of course, you can stay there longer if you'd like, but we'll bring 2 feet flat on the ground again eventually. And switch sides, left ankle over the right thigh. We're here for a couple of breaths, so feel free to feel into it. A little bit of movement. And possibly hugging your legs in towards the chest. Flow of your breath in, let that remind you of water, of your ability to change. And we slowly start to unravel. Take your time, no changing shapes, change in itself. And in the next couple of breaths, The option to bring the soles of the feet together and the knees wide for a reclined bound angle or reclined Baddha Konasana. I'll stretch in the hips and the groin. Maybe even reach your arms up and overhead, lengthening through the sides of the body. Taking a couple slow going breaths here. If you are seated in your chair, it might feel nice to bring something under your feet, like a block or a pillow to rest your feet on as they come together and you separate. And if for some reason this is not working out for you, this pose, feel free to find something that is moving or stretching in a way that brings you inward. Find your flow. We'll be here for a few more breaths. I'll invite you to slow down your breath a little bit, inhaling through your nose and exhaling through the nose. Breathing in and breathing out. Whenever you're ready, bring the knees back together. Move towards a resting place of your choosing. I really like to walk the feet wide and tip the knees together. So kind of like the opposite of what we were just doing. Maybe even rest your hands on your belly to feel that movement of your breath, like an ocean wave rising and falling. I'll read a quote from Bruce Lee, the philosopher and martial artist, about water to guide us into Shavasana, or rest. Bruce Lee says, "You must be shapeless, formless like water. When you pour water in a cup, it becomes the cup. When you pour water in a teapot, it becomes the teapot. Water can drip and it can crash. Become like water, my friend." We'll rest here for the next minute or so. Listen to your breath. Take rest. Gently bring awareness back into your body. Right. Start to take in the sounds that are in your space. Maybe even the sound of your own breathing. When you're ready, stretching in any way that your body wants to. Well, it feels good. And slowly rolling to your side if you're lying down on your back. Pressing yourself up to sit again. Maybe kneeling, maybe cross-legged. Finding that length in your spine. Grounding through your sitting bones. Maybe you bow your head a bit here as you acknowledge yourself for showing up for this practice. This hard work sometimes of acknowledging these ebbs and flows of life. Practicing being like water. If you'd like to bring hands together in front of the heart, and close with a breath together in through the nose and out through the mouth. Thank you so much for sharing in this practice. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day. And see you next time. Thank you.